Story of Pablo Escobar, a man whose life became an epic saga of ambition, crime, and an insatiable quest for dominance. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born on December 1, 1949, in a modest neighborhood of Medellín, Colombia. Growing up in poverty, young Pablo quickly learned the art of survival in a world that seemed indifferent to his struggles. From selling small goods on the street to dabbling in petty crime, Escobar's early experiences laid the foundation for his future empire. Despite his humble beginnings, he harbored dreams of greatness and a deep desire to escape the constraints of his socio-economic background. Rise to power. In the 1970s, Escobar's ambitions took a dark turn. He plunged into the drug trade, a world of secrecy and danger. By the early 1980s, he had established himself as a major player in the cocaine industry, building the infamous Medellín cartel. His rise was meteoric. By the mid-1980s, he was one of the wealthiest men in the world. Escobar was not just a drug lord, he was a phenomenon. His charisma and ruthlessness earned him both adulation and fear. He was known for his extravagant lifestyle, which included luxurious mansions, private planes, and a seemingly endless supply of cash, the Robin Hood. Despite his criminal activities, Escobar tried to present himself as a benefactor to the poor. He invested heavily in Medellín, building housing, football fields, and community centers. To many in the slums, he was seen as a modern-day Robin Hood, someone who addressed their needs, while keeping the government and wealthy elites at bay. This duality made him a controversial figure loved by some, loathed by others. The war with the state. As his power grew, so did his enemies. Escobar's reign was marked by a brutal and violent conflict with the Colombian government and rival cartels. His tactics included bombings, assassinations, and widespread corruption. The Medellín cartel's violent campaigns resulted in a surge of violence across Colombia, with thousands of lives lost. The government, aided by the United States, launched an all-out war against Escobar. The hunt for him became a national obsession. The fall. In the early 1990s, the noose tightened around Escobar. Under immense pressure, he surrendered to the government in 1991. But this was far from a typical prison stay. He built his own luxurious prison, dubbed La Catedral, which was more of a fortress than a cell. His stay there was short-lived. He managed to continue his criminal activities from within. Eventually, the government, now determined to bring him down for good, moved against him. On December 2, 1993, after a dramatic and intense manhunt, Escobar was killed in a shootout with the Colombian National Police on the rooftops of Medellín.